Today I'm going to show you how you can bring in animated GIF files for your sprites and PNGs into Piskel to edit for your own use. I really recommend you draw from scratch rather than stealing something off the internet. Ideally, you should search free use, but try to modify it as much as you can. That's just my little side note there. So before we even get into Piskel, obviously this is the landing page. I'm going to go out to Google and I'm going to search a 32 by 32 sprite GIF. Now, that search, if you want to go bigger, you can. If you want to go smaller, you can. But the bigger you go with your sprites, click on images, the more editing you're going to have to do. So let's just grab one of these guys. I know this one works really well. It's a good size. It doesn't have too many frames. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. The other thing you can do is hover over here and you can see the size. There's a lot of dead space here. The actual sprite itself is probably pretty small. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, save image as, save to your downloads. I'm going to rename it something that I will remember for later. It's going to save as a GIF. That's being saved to my downloads. Now I'm going to go to Piskel. I'm going to go ahead and create a sprite. It's going to bring up a blank canvas. We're not going to change size or anything like that. We're going to go ahead and import this in. To do that, you go down to the folder import, and I'm going to go and import from picture, browse images. Going to go out to my downloads, grab that file. If I were to resize this, it's going to shrink it down quite a bit. Let's go ahead and just see what happens so you can get an idea. So if I resize to 32 by 16 and import, gives you a little warning it's going to replace my current animation. I don't have anything. Okay, so this is too small. It shrunk it down too small. There's not enough detail. It's a little blur. If you look up here in the preview, there's not much going on. So we're going to do that again. Create a sprite. Bring that in. We're not going to resize it that small this time. Again, browse images. Go ahead and grab that bunny file. I'm going to bring this in as 64 by, it'll automatically, so it's not really a square, 64 by 32, and see what that looks like. Gonna warn me again. Okay, so this isn't bad. I think for animated 2D game that's on the smaller side, this could work. So here are the different frames. We have 6 different frames. If you wanted to go in and recolor him, you could. Say you wanted, instead of a tan bunny, you wanted a pink bunny. You could go out and grab your colors. Maybe you want a pink bunny. Let's see, it's gonna like more of a purple here. And you wanted to start recoloring this. So your lightest pink, now you can create a palette over here. You can add colors so that you don't lose whatever colors you've picked. And now I have that pink that I can grab as I need it. So this kind of a medium pink, you'd want to go in and fill your medium pinks or your medium colors here. This is going to be time consuming because you have to go in on each one of these frames and do that. So is it a time saver in the end? I'm not quite sure, but for those of you who are really struggling with your animations, this is an option. However, I think it's easier just to start from scratch. So you'd have to do each and every frame. So the next thing I want to show you, you can bring in just a regular PNG file and recolor, rechange the shape, and then add frames and create an animation from an existing PNG. So it's the same idea, create a sprite. Gonna go to the import folder, browse images. I've already found a few that I know work pretty well. Again, you would go out to Google and just search 32 by 32 sprite or pixelated art, whatever you're looking for. I found this cat. And let's resize it a little bit. Let's make it 64 by 64 and import it because it was quite big. And this is definitely workable. Say you wanted your cat to be, I don't know, a green cat. Again, you could create your palette over here, pick out your greens that you want to use. You add that to the palette. Why didn't that add? Save. There we go. And now I have that green that I can use. So I can use paint bucket tool and start Control Z and start filling in all of the white areas with the green to recolor this cat. Now notice you've got these other areas that are darker. You could click on this green, slide this to a darker color version of that color, go back to your paint bucket, and start filling in those slightly darker areas. So it's still a lot of work, but it's an easy way when you're struggling to get an idea to bring somebody else's work in and modify it. Once you modify it, then you can come in here, you could duplicate your frame, and maybe you just move this jug or whatever this is up and down, or maybe the ears move, or maybe the eyes go up and down. That's an easy thing to modify and create your frames to create the animation. So again, it's always, I think, easier to start from scratch with your own ideas, but if you're really struggling, this is an option for you. Okay, good luck.